$90 to fill up my 2016 Acura MDX.
Have you seen this? Gas in Los Angeles just hit $8.21 a gallon at one station.
Hey, I'm at that one Chevron at the corner of Alameda and Cesar Chavez to try and get an answer to why is gas here always $3 more expensive than the average price?
I generally think one of the most depressing part about living in 2026 is how expensive basic everyday life has become, and honestly one of the biggest reminders of that right now is gas. Because I don't know about you, but every single time I pull into a gas station now, I already know I'm about to live irritated. Like, it almost doesn't even matter where you go anymore, the numbers are just insane everywhere. And what crazy is, I feel like people have slowly becoming numb to it. You see somebody casually spending $90, $100, and sometimes even over, $120 just to fill up their car. And everybody act like that's normal now. But if you really stop and think about it for a second, that actually insane, right? Especially because driving for most people isn't optional. People still have to commute, still have to sit in traffic every morning, still have to drive to school, still have to run errands, still have to, survive normal life. And depending on where you live, not driving basically isn't even realistic. So now something as basic as transportation feels like another monthly bill constantly draining your money. And the thing is, I don't even think people are just mad about gas itself anymore. I think gas prices become, symbolic of something bigger, because it feels like every part of normal life now may cost more than it used to. Grocery costs more, insurance costs more, and fast food costs more, and even rents cost more, right? And the gas is just one of the most visible reminder of all that, because unlike other bills, you literally stand there and watch the total climb in real time, right? So you physically watch your money disappear. And I think that's why so many people online just seem financially exhausted lately, because it feels like no matter how hard people work now, normal life just keep getting more expensive anyway.
$90 to fill up my 2016 Acura MDX. Oh, $90, $89 and something cents. Wow. You will not catch me outside this summer. You will catch me in the house. $5 a gallon. And I had 20 cents off of my King Super gallons. You know what? You will catch me in the house. You will not catch me outside, because $90 to fill up my... It was literally $40 maybe 3 months ago, and then it was $70. Now it's $90. I'm not going anywhere.
How much is gas in California? Matter of fact, how much is gas where you live, and how much was it at the beginning of this year? Because I'm realizing that so I usually get my gas out on the outskirts of the city. And now I'm paying downtown Chicago prices on the outskirts of the city. And downtown Chicago prices are starting to look like gas in LA. So how much is gas in LA? Somebody tell me. I'm scared.
They're saying gas in the South will be at almost $5 plus a gallon by the fall. Tennessee, Mississippi, Alabama, Georgia, Florida, places like that, Arkansas, you can see it up to $5, $5.50 a gallon. The days of us seeing it below $3 or at $3, we'll never see it again in our lifetime. My last video was 1000% satire. The gas situation, they know that if they put it at $10 a gallon, $20, we're going to have to pay it because we've got to have gas to commute daily. I feel real bad for the boys that got to put fuel in their trucks. You're going to be looking at $8, $10 a gallon. But places in the South that are usually the lowest in the nation, we're looking, when people are $3 plus, we're at, $2.50 or less. You're looking at over $5 a gallon by this fall. So absolutely unbelievable. The days of $3 a gallon are over.
And honestly, I think what makes gas prices feel frustrating right now is how permanent this all feels. A few years ago, when gas prices spiked, people treated it like, some temporary crisis. Everybody would complain for a few weeks, the news would talk about it nonstop, and eventually the prices would come back down again. But now it feels like people are slowly realizing that this is just normal life now, right? Like every single year, the baseline price just keep getting higher and higher. And the scary part is most people income isn't rising at the same speed as their actual cost of living. So even if somebody technically make more money than they did before, it doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel like it basically, because everything around them also got more expensive at the same time, right? And the gas is different compared to other expensive because people interact with it constantly. It's not like rent where you pay once a month and try not to think about it again. Gas is one of those expenses that keep reminding you over and over again that, life got more expensive, right? Every commute remind you of it, every trip you take remind you about that, and every fill up also remind you about that as well, right? And if you live in a place where driving is basically required, there's not much you can even do about it. You still have to get to work, you still have to buy groceries, you still have to live your life, right? So people just keep paying it even when they feel increasingly frustrated every single time.
Not to scare people, right? But the gas price situation has not gotten better, okay? Just because Donald Trump says, hey, the war is done, doesn't mean the effects of what happened a couple months ago are not still being played out. Remember, there's still going to be long-term consequences even if the strait opens up or is open back to full capacity today, which it's not, right? So what this shows you kind of where we're headed. At current, given the information the market, the world knows today, that we will likely start to see $7 national average gas prices, so it's a national average, by midsummer, right? Which kind of aligns with my prediction from a couple months back that when we get nearer to summer, where energy consumption is already elevated, right, because of air conditioning, we just burn more energy during the summer, that's when you're going to see this start to really uptick even more. $7. Now, remember, folks, this is just national average, which means in a lot of places, you'll likely see $9 gas, $10 gas. In some places, you might see $6 gas, right? But it's still going to be elevated, highest in a long, long time. Ask yourself, right? Can our economy handle this? Can the people handle this, right? Because this is going to percolate in transportation costs for products. We're all going to pay for this. And what did we really achieve from the war?
Hey, I'm at that one Chevron at the corner of Alameda and Cesar Chavez to try and get an answer to why is gas here always $3 more expensive than the average price?
Typically, the only time I'd fill up at this gas station is because I'm completely out of gas. I just get 1 gallon and I'm off.
Let's go ask the gas station attendant. So unfortunately, he doesn't know. The cashier inside gave me the number for the owner of this Chevron. And my name is Tom Carroll.
I'm in a rush, so it's the closest one that I have.
Yeah.
It's convenient because my signing is right here.
And do a lot of your coworkers fill up here too for that same reason? Because
use this station.
when you're filling up a fleet vehicle, you're not paying for it. So it doesn't hurt as bad. You're just trying to get home.
This was like an emergency situation.
I'm
desperate for a gas station.
That's not normal.
I just spoke to some people from San Diego. It proved one of my theories. They balked a little bit at the price, but they said, well, maybe this is normal. And they said the one they tried to go to was very busy. This, because it's so expensive, most pumps are open most of the time. They could just pull in and start fueling up. So what I've learned today, most people who fill up here that I've spoken with today are desperate. The other thing we need to remember is we're right near Union Station. This is a destination area. So if you didn't fill up when you started your journey, maybe you're out of gas. So next time someone asks you, why is that gas station so expensive? Because people will pay it. And sometimes you just need gas.
And you know what crazy is how gas prices quietly affect almost everything around us too. Because when most people think about expensive gas, they only think about filling up their own car, but fuel prices impact almost every part of the economy, right? If you think about it, food has to be transported, product have to be shipped, delivery drivers still have to, need fuels to get around, right? And planes still need fuels, and then truck also need fuels as well. So once the gas prices rise high enough, eventually the extra costs spread everywhere else too. And I think that's the part why people feel financially overwhelmed right now, right? Because it's not just one giant expense destroying people financially, it's hundreds of smaller expenses stacking together at the same time. Maybe your rent already went up, then your insurance goes up, then your grocery go up, and then your car payment go up as well. And then now the gas spike again, right? And after a while, people start feeling like they're building a future, and they start feeling like they're constantly trying to recover financially. Like, no matter how much progress they make, another bill immediately show up waiting to take it away again. And honestly, I think that's constant financial pressure is exhausting people mentally more than anything, because people can handle struggling temporarily, but when it starts to feel endless, that's when people really begin to burn out.
Have you seen this? Gas in Los Angeles just hit $8.21 a gallon at one station. $8 for a gallon of gas. I mean, think about that for a second. People are literally paying over $8 just to fill up their tank in California, and lawmakers are warning that it could actually get worse. I know some experts are saying California gas prices could go above $8 a gallon statewide by the end of this year because of a mix of their policies, taxes, and refinery shutdowns, global oil tensions, and more. Right now, California already has the highest gas prices in America, and critics are blaming things like the state's climate regulations, special fuel blends, and multiple taxes added onto every gallon. In fact, some estimates say that there are 6 different state fees and taxes baked into the price of gas in California. And if another refinery shuts down, lawmakers say that supply could drop even more, which means prices could actually keep climbing. Some are even warning about shortages and fuel rationing like they saw in the 1970s if things get bad enough. So yeah, $8 gas in LA might not just be a viral photo. It could actually be a preview of what's coming for California drivers. What do you think about this? Are gas prices about to spiral even higher? Let me know. Appreciate you.
Guys, I actually found it. Let's see if it's at least fancy inside. This is pretty small. I don't think I'd expect this. Is this known for the most expensive gas?
Yes. People taking pictures.
They take pictures? $20 on number 3, please. Thank you. The last person before me only put $5. $8.29 a gallon. Let's see how much 20 bucks gets me. $20 got us just under 2.5 gallons.
Hello. I just paid $74 for gas. Gas for a tank that wasn't even empty. I was being proactive and I was like, oh, I should just, I'm near a gas station. Let me just fill it up so I don't have to do it later on in the week. Start off the week with a full tank of gas. I had a little over a quarter left. $74. I haven't put $74 in my car, I think, since Bush, the second Bush. What? $74 and it wasn't even empty? So I'm looking at $100 to fill up my gas tank? And I want to be outside this summer. Can someone pick me up?
And I think social media is also making this feel even more intense now, because everybody constantly sees everybody out struggling too. You open TikTok and immediately see, people complaining about commuting costs, people showing $100 fill-ups, people cutting back on grocery, and people saying they work full-time and still feel broke. And when millions of people are posting the same exact frustration online every single day, it creates this feeling that something is seriously off financially right now, because people aren't talking about luxury problem anymore. They're talking about basic survival expenses, right? And that's the part that feels different now, right? People aren't saying, I can't buy a sport car. People are basically saying, I can barely afford grocery and gas at the same time. And also, I think a lot of people in 2026 feel trapped financially, not necessarily because they made a horrible decision, but because modern life itself has become unbelievably expensive, especially for younger people trying to build stability for the first time. Buying a house feels unrealistic, saving money feels difficult, and even taking vacation feels stressful now. And when people feel financially trapped long enough, eventually it changes the entire mood of the society, right? People become more anxious, more cynical, and more exhausted, and more emotionally checked out. Because if you think about it, constant financial stress can slowly drain people over time.
What is going on, guys? Why does my gas disappear so fast? No AC, no music. Let me pull over. No Bluetooth. And my gas is disappearing like my car is secretly drinking overnight. My car is acting like it just drank Don Julio on an empty stomach. What is going on? $60 yesterday, and look at my dashboard. My gas, look at it, it's finished. What is going on? My car is burning gas like it has generational wealth. Is this normal? What is going on, guys? I'm convinced some of these gas stations are mixing gasoline and Fiji water with tears. Some of these quality control on these gas stations need to be investigated immediately, because what do you mean by $60? Even yesterday when I put the $60 and the needle drop before I could even finish thanking God. I'm convinced they are selling vape juice and optimism instead of real gasoline. What is going on? 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 My gas, the quality of my gas is bad. CIA investigate, FBI investigate. Why?
And honestly, I think that's why so many people seem mentally exhausted lately, because it's hard to stay optimistic when basic everyday life keep getting more expensive years after years. And again, I don't think most people are asking for some insanely luxury life. People just want breathing room, right? They just want to fill up their tank without stressing about the total, go grocery shopping without feeling robbed, and maybe some money at the end of the month as well, and maybe enjoy life a little without feeling financially guilty afterward. But right now, it feels like even doing all the responsible things still isn't enough for a lot of people. And I think gas prices become one of the biggest symbols of that frustration, because it's something millions of people are forced to deal with almost every single day. You can ignore a lot of problems temporarily, but you can't really ignore an empty gas tank, right? And maybe that's why the conversation getting louder online now, because people are tired, right? Financially tired, mentally tired, and emotionally tired, right? And yeah, anyways, I just want to talk about this because I know a lot of people have feeling the same way lately. If you make it this far into the video, I genuinely appreciate you for taking your time to watch and listen. And honestly, I would love to know how things have been feeling where you live too, because it really feels like everybody experienced some version of this right now. And yeah, take care of yourself, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.